football. Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. Sitting cage side, Jim Miller calls your name. How are you feeling about that one?
Well, first of all, Jim looked awesome. I love watching him fight. When I saw the Korean Zombie have that walkout and I got inspired to potentially get back into the pool and do all this kind of stuff, anybody that knows me or talked to me, you being one of those people, knew that Jim was the name that was like, if I'm going to do it, I want it to be against a guy like Jim, somebody that's around my age, that's been in the game for a long time. I'm not trying to come back and make a run for the belt or anything like that. But
no Shavkat, no.
Yeah. Whoever that person was that wanted to have me murdered, they're clearly out from my head. That suggested that fight. And I go back and forth as any athlete does between feeling inspired and in the gym one day, and I train in Philly with a lot of very good, hungry, up-and-coming guys. So you can get a little bit frustrated going into the gym. So I'm in and out all the time between going to Marquez MMA and training with Sean and Joe Pfeiffer and all these guys. Recently, I've been back on a triathlon kick, and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to come back anymore. And when we talk to Jim in the fighter meetings, obviously the people around me are kind of egging it on and pushing me. And I was like, if you call me out, Jim, it's something that I'd be interested in doing. He's like, if you get me a job sitting next to you at the desk, we'll make it a deal. And I think they'll be calling him for at least an audition coming up soon. So when he said that, it's like, fuck, now he's setting me up. All the things that I said, well, if he does this, if this happens, then I'd be interested in doing it. It's just, I got to get back in the gym and see how things feel.
Okay, so it's not a definite yes right now. You want to see how your body feels and stuff, but
well, it's also up to the UFC too, right? Like I obviously haven't pressed the issue. Sean knew that he wanted to test me out and see if I was just being flaky, and I've done it in the past where I'm like, I'm coming back, I'm gonna make a run for it, I'm gonna do all this, and then I just don't. So I got to see if they even interested in that fight happening. But to do it on a legendary card like that would be incredible. I got to talk to my wife too. I already messaged her. I was like, Jim called me out. She just sent me back like the hand on face emojis. But of course, all my friends, all the teammates, all those people, even Twitter, I had people sending me what people are saying about it. So it's definitely a possibility. I got to go home and I'll probably have a fun night tonight and then get back into seeing how the body feels. I'm in phenomenal shape. I'm in the best shape of my adult life in the last few years. I just haven't been fighting.
It would be fair to say that we've seen guys finish their career in the Apex. The Apex is great, right? It serves a purpose.
Yep.
But it's not where any fighter who fought at this level sees how they're going out, right? To be able to go out one last time in front of a crowd at UFC 300 against the guy who fought at the hundreds. Is there a better way you could ask to leave?
No, not at all. And that's why it's so tough, right? And so tempting and, leaning towards wanting to do it because it's Jim, as he wants to be called at UFC 300, Jim fucking Miller. I mean, he's awesome. He fights awesome. Especially, I get to see that fight right in front of my eyes, right? Where it's a leg kick battle. It's a stand-up battle. Primarily, obviously, he finished him on the ground, as Jim can do. But, I mean, if it's going to be a fight like that, then I think the fans would eat it up because, I'm not shooting any takedowns in there, especially against Jim. I'm not putting my neck out on the line like that. So it would definitely be a fun fight. Probably be like the first fight of the freaking night, to be honest with you, though, in the way these cards stack up. And
Paul,
I'm a nobody now.
Just quick, is there any downside you look at? It's like UFC 300, the big card, a guy you wanted to, match against and everything. Seems like everything sets up perfectly. Are there any downsides when you sit and think about it quietly?
Of course. I mean, what if it goes terribly wrong? I've established myself as a broadcaster for a while now. I've been trying to get back into acting. I'm working on a film now with a script that I think is amazing, with a cast that I think is amazing. It's just awesome independent film that I can't talk about because it's, none of the information's out there yet. But that went really well, and I'm actually playing an actual acting role. It's not me playing an MMA fighter. It's not me playing myself. It's me really getting back to what I went to school for when I was a young man. I went to school for acting. I wanted to get back into that. And, you don't want your last image to be a bad one, right? So it could go wrong. So there's definitely that downside, right? But that's fighting every single time ever. That's the only real downside that I see is what if there is one more injury at the end of my career? What if I turn down some broadcasting jobs, and then I get injured at the last minute and I can't make it to the fight, or Jim gets injured and can't make it to the fight. There's a lot of what ifs in fighting, unfortunately.